In every crime, there's a story. In every story, a hidden mind at work. Welcome to Criminal Mind Tales, where every mind has a motive. Love is supposed to last forever, but for Mia and Daniel Reeves, forever only lasted 5 months. What began as a fairy tale marriage soon spiraled into jealousy, secrets, and control. And one cold November night, that love story ended in fire. Was it fear or fury? This is the tragic case of the bride who burned her husband alive. They looked like the perfect couple. Mia and Daniel Reeves had been married for just 5 months. 5 months of laughter, pictures, and promises of forever. But on a cold November night, forever went up in flames. When firefighters arrived at the Reeves home, the entire house was burning. Inside, they found the body of Daniel Reeves, burned beyond recognition. And outside stood his wife, Mia, wrapped in a blanket, shaking, but strangely calm. People said she looked more confused than heartbroken. And that calmness was the first thing that made investigators suspicious. Just a year earlier, Mia and Daniel's love story had been something out of a movie. Mia was a gentle art teacher. Daniel was a driven architect, known for his bright smile and big dreams. They met at a charity event, fell in love fast, and by spring they were married. To everyone who knew them, they seemed inseparable. But behind those perfect wedding photos, cracks were already forming. Neighbors later told police they often heard shouting from the Reeves home. At first, it sounded like ordinary arguments, but as months passed, the tone changed. Mia told her best friend that Daniel had become controlling, that he checked her phone, tracked her spending, and accused her of cheating. Daniel, on the other hand, told his coworkers Mia was unstable. He said she showed up at his office crying, convinced he didn't love her anymore. 2 different stories, 2 different versions of the same marriage. But which one was true? On the night of November 12th, around 2 in the morning, neighbors saw smoke rising from the Reeves home. Emergency services arrived minutes later. Mia said she woke up to smoke, tried to save Daniel, but couldn't reach him. It sounded believable until investigators examined the bedroom. The fire had started on Daniel's side of the bed. And the bedroom door? It was locked from the outside. When police searched the garage, they found an empty gas can, still warm. And lab tests confirmed gasoline on the bedsheets. Mia's story was starting to fall apart. She was arrested 3 days later and charged with first-degree murder. During interrogation, she denied everything. She claimed Daniel had been drinking, maybe smoking in bed. But then investigators found something that changed everything. A series of text messages between Mia and a man named Ethan. Ethan was a coworker from her art studio, someone she'd been seeing behind Daniel's back. One message from Ethan read, "You said you can't leave him. What if you didn't have to?" And Mia's reply, "Then we could finally be free." That single text shifted the case from tragedy to cold-blooded murder. At her trial, Mia took the stand. She didn't deny starting the fire, but she said she did it out of fear. According to her, Daniel was abusive. She claimed he isolated her, threatened her, and made her believe she could never leave. She said that night was the breaking point, that she snapped after months of torment. Her story moved some to tears, but the prosecution had one final piece of evidence. Security footage from a hidden camera Daniel had installed weeks earlier. The video showed Mia, in her nightgown, quietly pouring gasoline near the bed. And before she lit the match, she whispered, "I'm sorry, I have to." There was no struggle, no abuse in that moment, just calm, deliberate calm. Mia Reeves was found guilty of murder by arson and sentenced to life in prison. Ethan, the man she had been seeing, denied any involvement and was never charged. To this day, Mia insists she was a victim, driven to madness by fear and control. But others believe she planned everything from the start. Maybe she really did feel trapped. Maybe she believed fire was the only way out. We may never know what really happened inside that house. But one thing is certain: 2 lives burned that night, one to ashes, the other to memory. And maybe the real question is this: was it an act of desperation, or a carefully planned escape. Because sometimes the line between fear and fury is thinner than fire itself. In the end, some truths die in silence, and some burn with the lies we tell ourselves. Was Mia a victim of love, or the author of her own destruction? Maybe we'll never know. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to subscribe for more tales of love, betrayal, and the darkest sides of the human mind. Because on Criminal Mind Tales, every story hides a secret. Another story ends, but the questions never do. What drives an ordinary mind to cross the line? You've been watching Criminal Mind Tales, where every mind has a motive. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of love, lies, and the darkness within.